Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is Penapple and today I'm doing the Fenmore family home speed build. So if you're interested in this build, you can download it off of the gallery. My origin ID is penappleYT. And I'll leave a link to it down below. But yeah, so this home took me about 4+ hours to complete. I don't know, I did a lot of stuff off camera because it was a bit finicky. And it costs about 280,000 simoleons. Yeah, that's right. I was like, math. But yeah, so I originally did this build for Carpe. That's Coffee with a K. She's a YouTuber, a Sims YouTuber, and she's doing 100 baby challenge. And so I built it because she asked for some homes, and she didn't choose this one, but she might in the future, she might not. I don't know. Either way, I just mostly had fun building it, and I wanted to share it with you guys. And so I posted it already on the gallery under just the name Coffee's Baby Mansion, but I added just a little bit to it, and I changed up the bedroom. The master bedroom, and so I will be re-uploading it with its Fenmore family home name because I thought that sounded like a much cooler name, and I figured it might get a couple more downloads. People might be a bit more interested in it that way. But yeah, so I had a lot of fun building this house, and the inspiration came from that triangular entryway. I really wanted to see if I could do that, and I think I'll probably be using that again for like a cottage build. I don't know how well it fit the rest of the style of this home, but I really like it, and I think it makes it really unique. But yeah, I kind of wasn't really quite sure what style I was going for here. I think I was kind of going for almost like Madeline, like in Paris. I don't know, maybe, but I've been getting into looking up like old architecture styles, and I found that this actually most resembles the Federal Adams style, which I hadn't heard of, but they're pretty big houses that are very symmetrical, and they just kind of look like this. And so that's what I decided it is. I just but yeah, so I definitely had a lot of fun building this. It was a little bit difficult, a little bit. And so because it was for 100 baby challenge, it has, oh my gosh, how many bedrooms does it have? So many. It has 6 on the top floor and 1 on the main floor. So I think that's 7 bedrooms, right? Yeah? Counting in my head. Yeah. There's 7 bedrooms in this, which is crazy for me. And they aren't huge bedrooms, but they're pretty sizable. And one of the reasons why I really wanted to share this build with you guys is each bedroom has its own unique style. And I did this thing where I kind of originally planned out a whole bunch of closets. And so they would be kind of a 2x2 square. I think some of them have like a little bit taken off the side. And they ended up being more nooks. So in one of the rooms, it's actually what it was intended to be, which is a closet. But in a different room, it's like a little office. And then in another room, it's a little reading nook. And then in the 4th room, it's a changing area for the babies for the nursery. And so yeah, so I thought that was just a lot of fun, and this build is really cute, so I just wanted to share it with you guys. But yeah, I was originally planning on posting this to my channel on Sunday the 2nd, so a few days ago, and instead I ended up posting a Wishing Well Legacy challenge that was already ready, so that was kind of unusual. I try and do at least one speed build a week, but that didn't really happen, and that's because I had a final. I was taking an online class as a prerequisite for the grad school I want to get into, and I finally finished it, but the final really slammed me. It was really hard. Like, actually, the final wasn't hard. Studying for it was hard. Like, I took a semester's worth of microbiology and had to try and cram it into my brain, sort of. And then, like, the professor had all these warnings, like, oh, this test is going to be really hard. Like, you're going to have to really make sure you study for it. Like, just because it's open book doesn't mean it's going to be easy. You're not going to have enough time to look everything up. And then the test was like 3 hours long. And so I was like, oh my gosh, really worried. And then it was like 38 questions. And I really took my time on those. And so the test took me 2 hours, but that's only because I was kind of being obsessive about it. And so it was the weirdest thing. Like, I hate it when professors do that, when they're just like, this is going to be the hardest test you've ever taken in your life. And then it's like relatively easy and you're just like, what? Why? Why would you psych me up like that? Or like, I've had professors be like, we're going to have a test on the syllabus on the first day, so you need to make sure you read it before the first day. And then you get there and there's no mention of a test, and it's just like, thanks. But yeah, it's a really weird time to be finishing a final, like to have a final in your class, because it's like October and most of everybody else is like maybe at midterms now. Not me, I'm done. And so that's really nice to be done. And so that's why that was kind of late. But I'm hoping that now I'll have enough time to sort of get back into making stuff. And I was still posting pretty regularly, but you know. So here I'm working on the kitchen, and it was a really weird shape at first. And so I wasn't really quite sure what to do with it. And I thought I might put in a little like dine-in kitchen. But but the dining room was like right there, and so I was like, you probably don't really need that. And so yeah, so for this home, it's like, it's big, but at the same time, I feel like it's really cozy. So I feel like there aren't like vast amounts of blank space, which I think like might not actually be the best for like a 100 baby like challenge that you're filming on YouTube, because I think it might be get a bit confusing. But I think it looks really cute. But yeah, so I really like it, and yeah, I just had a lot of fun with it. Like, it's just a little frustrating. Like, I think I cut out a little bit of like trying to figure out this living room, because the shape of the house is kind of weird. Also, you know what I found? I like don't know how to do living rooms. Like, I don't know where to put the coffee table. Like, I mean, I know where to put the coffee table. You put it in front of the sofa. But, like, I feel like I always, like, everything's always too tight, or the furniture's too small, or just, it seems like there's always something weird going on with the living room. And so, I don't know. I feel like I'm not very good at it. But people download my build, so they must at least, like the rest of the build enough. But yeah, so right now I'm just kind of doing the clutter of the kitchen, really cluttering it up. The coffee didn't have any sort of money restrictions, so I went whole hog with clutter, because I love doing clutter. I actually have a build coming out relatively soon after this one, and it's an under 50k build, and like the struggle was real with the clutter. Like, I wanted to do so many things with the clutter, and it was just like, nope, you can't, too expensive. So yeah, that was the thing. Also, one of the things I want to mention, a funny thing that happened to me. So I told you about that test, and so for that test, I went out of my house because it's an online class, so I pretty much just stayed in my house to study. And so I went out 2 days before the test, and then the next day I didn't go out because I was just staying inside studying, and my boyfriend went out to go get me coffee. Okay, so we have one person out of the house. Okay. And so he comes back, I finish the test the next day, and then we go out to again get me more coffee and run some errands. And in the time between he came back, in the late evening, mind you, and the time I finished my test the next day in the afternoon, the parking changed. Like, I live on a one-way street, and so this might not seem like a big deal to you guys, but it was like the bizarrest thing. So like, one-way street, parking on both sides. It's like the second busiest one-way street in my city, and it used to be parallel parking on both sides, and then on the far side of the street it changed to diagonal parking, and it was like the weirdest thing. Like, I've lived here for over 2 years now, and I was just like, what's happening? It was like, oh my gosh, I felt like, you know how there are those movies or whatever where people come out from underground, or from like the bomb shelter, or from being in cryogenic sleep, and they come out and their whole world has changed? That's what I felt like, especially because I had been inside for like what seemed like so long. And so, but it was also weird for my boyfriend because he had just been outside yesterday, and it was like had always been. So that was really weird. But yeah, that was my little story time for this. But right now I started on the bedrooms. I already did the sort of older girls' room. I say girls only because it's super feminine, but I think you could put anyone in there. But Coffee wanted at least one designated girls' room and one designated boys' room. So I kind of tried to go with a more traditional decor style with those. And so now I'm also working on the nursery, which is super cute, although I probably shouldn't have made it just like a girly nursery, but that's okay. I tend to lean on more liking girl babies in The Sims. I always get really excited when my babies are girls, because then I like to dress them up and whatnot. But that's what I'm doing here. And oh, I already did the changing table off in the little nook. And so if you're interested in that and how I did that changing table, I actually have a whole video on it. So I'll leave a link to that in the description. I'll also put in a little card so you can click on that if you want to watch it. But yeah, the other day somebody commented and said that they used that to make their own changing table, and I was so excited. I felt useful. Oh my goodness. But yeah, so this is one of the more neutral rooms. I guess it's more feminine. I don't know. I'm kind of bad at really knowing what's sort of girly and what's boyish. Mostly because I don't think there really is a distinction personally. But yeah, so this build technically has 2 girls' rooms, 2 boys' rooms, and 2 neutral rooms, but by neutral, they're still kind of, I guess, feminine. I don't know. But yeah, I found, like, it's really hard for me to, like, really focus on what is and isn't girly or boyish, I guess. But yeah, this room, the neutral room, ended up being my favorite. Like, I'm actually not a huge fan of neutrals in real life, but in The Sims, I just really like this sort of neutral look, sort of washed out. And I love the reading nook. I would have loved to have had that as a kid. Like, I read so much. Like, I can't even emphasize how much I read. Like, I would easily go through a like 100 to 200 book in a day. Like, sometimes even in a school day. Like, yeah, it was a problem. And I wish I read that much now, but man, college really destroys your like love of reading. Like, that's what I've heard from almost everybody. Like, you know, they love reading. They read so much in their spare time. And especially, like, a lot of people continue to read through high school, even when the homework load increases. But then once they get to college, it's just like you burn out. Because there's so much reading you have to do that you don't want to do any more of it in your free time. But yeah, so reading. But yeah, I actually have a couple friends who like are trying to get back into reading, and it's just like the saddest thing because like I basically stopped even trying to get back into reading. Like, I had a vacation once. I went with my mom to visit my family over in Pennsylvania, and so I had free time, and I went back to reading like a book a day, and then I came home and I was like, nope, gotta study. So yeah, but here's one of the technically boys' rooms. I don't know. It still has purple. Is purple a boy's color? I don't know. I've actually found it was hardest to decorate the boys' room with trying to go really masculine. Especially because I don't really imagine kids as being masculine. And I was actually like talking with my boyfriend about it, and I told him it was harder, and he was like, well, yeah, of course it was harder to the boys' room because boys tend to really just get to be whatever they want as long as it's not feminine in a way. And so I kind of thought about it, and I was like, yeah, that's really true. And so that's probably part of the problem. But I also had a lot of fun with this one. I imagine this as being the sort of teenage boys' room. Like, there's only 2 of kids' rooms with double beds in this, and so that's what I imagined his room being, and I imagine him being kind of a douchey gamer dude. So using that little nook as a little gaming table, which everything works in this house. I tested it. So just the entryway triangle thing, that works. And then also here, I kind of imagined him like just having a pile of like rubbish and like stuff that he's collected or stolen, potentially like lawn ornaments. And so that's what that little corner is over there. And so I had a lot of fun with this room. It was probably my second favorite room, no, third favorite. I'm indecisive. But yeah. So that's pretty much it for the kids' bedrooms. And now I'm kind of working on the sort of entryway hallway for the kids' rooms. Well, that was done. That was fast. And so now I'm working on an office. So I wanted a dedicated office space, and I imagine this as being more of an adult space. And especially because off camera, after I thought I was done with this build, when I went back to kind of just revamp it a little bit, I actually added a dedicated computer room with like 2 computers. I guess that's not that dedicated. I thought it was more dedicated. Because it also has like a little lab bench for kids. So I think I was counting that as computer, so it's not that dedicated. But that's more of a kid's computer room. And so here I'm working on the master bedroom, and again, off camera. I'm sorry there's so much off camera, but like, you'll probably thank me because this build is like ages long. Like, I cut a lot out of this build just to try and fit it down into more reasonable time to watch, because Lord knows attention spans are small, and I say that knowing that mine are small too. Mine attention spans are small. The grammar is strong with me today. But yeah, and so I ended up changing that room, making it a bit more girly or pink or whatever. And so, but either way, I thought it looked really cute. And so if you like this original style, you can just download the Coffee Baby Challenge House instead of the Fenmore family home. But it's really cute. And I love how I fit that fireplace on a 1 diagonal square. And I made sure to put paintings on either side of it on the exterior walls, because there was just like a little bit peeking through. But other than that, I think it looks really nice there, even though it's not technically supposed to go there. But yeah, also this bedroom is not the only one with an ensuite, because I forgot to mention that all the kids' bedrooms, there are 3 bathrooms upstairs, and for each bathroom, it's connected by 2 bedrooms. And so it's sort of a shared bathroom thing, and I thought that was really cute. But here I am just doing a really fancy ensuite, because I figured if this is a baby challenge, the mama is going to be stressed. I would be stressed. So I wanted it to be really cute, and I went with a sort of modern black and white sort of theme with it, and I thought it turned out really, really cute. And so yeah, one of the other things that Coffee had asked for was a sort of skills building room for the kids, and so I don't really know how well I hit the mark on this one, but I decided to make a whole basement devoted to it. And so I've got like the puppet theater, I have that piano, I have a foosball table, and it's sort of more of just a rec room in general. And I have I add in some coloring tables and stuff like that. And I also think it's big enough to where if you wanted to expand to add other things, you could. And so kind of to the right, I think, I'm right left challenge, but to the right of the little theater thing, the puppet theater, that's where I put the sort of dedicated computer room. And I also used this little arcade thing because I never see anyone use it. And so when I do basements, I kind of like to do that. And I've talked about this in another build, but some of my family over in Pennsylvania, they had a basement and they had like a pinball machine in it, and I always thought that was the coolest thing. So when I do big basements and rec rooms like this, I like to add in that machine, because otherwise it's never really used. But yeah, so I also added in a little gym area, nothing too crazy, really just kind of boring, honestly. And then this one also got a full bathroom downstairs, and I think that's good, especially if you want to add a bedroom down here. I think that would be really easy to do, and you wouldn't have to worry about Sims going up and downstairs. That's one of my pet peeves, is not having a bathroom on the same floor as my Sims. But here I am starting to work on some of the exterior space, and I didn't actually record most of the landscaping, so again, I apologize for that. I don't really even know quite what I was thinking, honestly. I'm not quite sure, but I guess I was just trying to save some time. But I really like how this turned out. I think I probably could have made it a bit more spacious. That way, if people wanted to add big outdoor items to it, they could, the sort of telescope thing or microscope, either one of those scopes. But I guess if you really wanted to, you could make the pool. I'm looking directly at it and I forgot what it's called. You can make the pool smaller or something. But yeah, I really love using those frog statues to pour a little water into the pool. I think that's really cute. But yeah, what I need to do is I need to do a base game only build, because I have not been doing that. I've been going whole hog, all expansion packs all the time. Expansion packs, stuff packs, game packs, all the packs. But not everybody has that same experience as I do, so that's something that I definitely do want to work on. And now that I have more time, hopefully I will be able to. Oh, also wanted to say, I think the front of the house looks like a face. But we are coming up on the screenshots. I hope that you guys enjoyed this build. If you did, feel free to leave me a like, a comment, or subscribe. Especially if you would like to be updated as to when my next build is coming out. Should be pretty soon, but better safe than sorry, I guess. But yeah, you can download this build off of the gallery. My origin ID is penappleYT. And it'll be under the name Fenmore Family Home or Coffee's Baby Mansion. Either one is a good house, I guess. But yeah, the screenshots are coming up soon, and I will see you guys next time. Bye! They won't feed me, Connie. Help! Connie's like, I'm on it, babe. I'm on it. I'll make us the best birthday cake ever. We don't need